in the temple, yeah.
No sleep. Okay, all right. You convinced
We
me.
cannot see you. I cannot see you, but Buddha can see you there.
It's recording now.
Yeah.
It's on Facebook.
Is it? Oh, she fixed it. Good, Marilyn.
But he cannot hear.
No.
Okay, so I have a question for Thomas.
Well, thank you, Kempo.
Okay, so which is very important when you take refuge? What do you need?
Karma.
The most important thing is devotion and renunciation.
Okay, see?
Those are
You
the two
get-
most important things that you emphasized most yesterday.
Okay.
Renunciation.
So where is renunciation come from? Renunciation come from?
We have to renounce everything of samsara and to
Or
It comes from a wish to renounce samsara, to be free from samsara.
comes from the four thoughts.
Okay, someone who don't have renunciation take the refuge. What happened?
They figure it out.
it's just meaningless.
Meaningless means
Means it's just words. They don't have they haven't cultivated the compassion and the wisdom that's required. Because to have pure refuge, instead of just taking refuge, we have to actually practice refuge.
Okay.
Doing that is to teach others. To
So if without renunciation, the person get a refuge vow, yes or no? To like roll, please give me roll answer.
If there's no motivation, then the refuge is not valid. You have to have the wish to renounce samsara. You have to want to renounce samsara.
So without renunciation, you mean you can get a refuge vow?
Well, I think you can get refuge vows if you recognize the law of karma, and if you renounce, and if you understand that you have to give up samsara, and because you're still in a learning process, so why would you be denied refuge if you want to go that way and learn, instead of just being cut out because you don't understand that?
Okay, so give me the one answer, like yes or no. Without renunciation, the person get refuge vow, yes or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, how about Lisa? She has answer. You're mute.
I think it's no, but I'm probably wrong.
Okay, so yes and no, and then stand up, please. So that's the usually in the monastery debating. You see like happening like that, debating.
I mean, I think that, you can think you took refuge. I'm kind of with Lisa. I think you can think you took refuge and you can come to teachings and maybe your devotion will grow in that process and then you can really take refuge. But, otherwise it's kind of like a worldly God, you pray to Buddha to help you succeed in your worldly life. How is that taking refuge? You really have to want to be free, don't you?
So you mean the without renunciation, still you receive the refuge vow?
It's sort of like a provisional vow.
What means a professional vow?
It means it's sort of, it's like a baby step. It's like you can come into the path and you can get started, and we really hope it really takes hold in you.
Okay.
It's like novice vows instead of full bhikshu, something like that.
Okay. So what did Thomas think?
Well, it takes time. I mean, it's not necessarily something that, I mean, yeah, it is important that we have renunciation. I mean, that is very important, but I think to me, the devotion is very important as well. And through that devotion and learning, you will renounce samsara.
Okay. So then, Ati,
Yes, Kempo?
do you think without renunciation, person can get a refuge vow or not?
Technically, no, Kempo. If we're following the book says no. I didn't write it. I have no commitment to it. But technically, no.
Okay.
So when you renounce samsara, then the actual alchemy happens within
Yeah.
you, and you're like, oh, okay. This is the refuge vows are actually working at that time. So refuge vows aren't exactly words. It is actually the physical process of taking refuge.
Okay.
That there's an experience involved in that.
Okay, so that is like everyone have really hard to say yes or not. You know, it's see this book usually here the main talk about like renunciation with devotion have to take the refuge vows. Without renunciation, you don't receive the refuge vows. So refuge vow is based on the renunciation and the devotion, right? So the center said just kind of like that, where you know usually some teachers says person who take the refuge vow but without renunciation, they're not really receive the pure refuge vow, but they receive a kind of refuge vow. Slowly, the person develop become renunciation. That the vow is become pure. They don't have to receive it again. So I think we follow that is okay, better way. Otherwise, we really don't know. Many teachers said kind of different. You know, some teachers say yes, some teachers say no. So, or it's like debating there. Okay. So the best way, like just the person don't get the perfect vow, but one day they get a renunciation, devotion, so their vow is become perfect. They don't have to receive again. So I think that is a good way to follow. Okay, so now I have another question. So if someone take refuge to Buddha, what the person have take commitments? I want to ask question is Martha. Give me answer. Can you hear? Martha, you are mute.
Well, I missed one of the words in that in your question.
If someone take refuge to Buddha, so what is the commitment?
You commit to taking refuge in. Well, for the Buddha, it's basically you want to be suffering. You want to be free from suffering. And then there's higher, that's the lesser. Is that what you mean? The lesser?
No. It's
Okay.
you take refuge to Buddha, so what you shouldn't do something?
You should follow the precepts of what to abandon and what to adopt.
Yes.
So like you abandon harming people.
No, not that for Buddha. So specifically give me Buddha. If you take refuge to Buddha, what is that?
Well, Buddha is free of suffering. He's already
Yes.
free of the samsaric suffering. So when you take refuge in him, he can help others. So he has the wisdom and the compassion to help us. So when you take refuge in him, you put your confidence and your faith in him.
Yes.
That he will help you.
Okay, so that's all your question. Answer is like more general answer. So I cannot say incorrect, but it's correct, but not really specific answer. I'm looking specific answer. Okay, so give me the Lona. Do you give me answer? Give me one specific answer.
If you take refuge, you don't take refuge to the worldly gods.
Okay, great.
That
Good,
one?
you got okay. Yes. Actually, you guessed. You're not really certainty, right?
Huh? Not really.
You just guessed. Your guess is go correctly.
Oh, that's what they said. Is you take refuge with the
Okay.
three vows, and you don't take the refuge with the worldly gods because they're not free from, they're not liberated.
Okay, so then that's good. Okay, take refuge to Dharma. So what is the commitment? Give me the answer. Road 4. Road 4.
Okay, what is the commitment if you refuse the samsara?
If you take refuge to Dharma, so what you shouldn't do something?
I think discipline. The commitment it would be discipline with the Dharma, with the technicals of the Buddhism, or the how to act every day, and discipline about meditation and
Okay,
a
so
good
your answer is also
relationship.
like still more general answer. So not specific, still not get into the specific. So I need the answer same as Lona did. You know, Lona did, if you take refuge to Buddha, then shouldn't take refuge to the Shiva and the local gods, spirits, right? So like that. If you take refuge to Dharma, what is your commitment? What you shouldn't do something like specific? Do you remember? Very simple one.
Commit to the truth.
What else?
If you take refuge to the Dharma, that means you commit to the truth, not the worldly thing.
You follow the teachings of the Buddha.
Yes.
Okay, so now I wanted to ask Pulo singer.
You refrain from harm to other sentient beings, and
okay,
refrain from hatred, anger, and that is what you must abandon when you take refuge in the Dharma.
Okay, so that's a good answer. So no, if take refuge to Dharma is no harming for other beings. The reason is Dharma is peace and love. So if you harm for others, no peace, no love there, right? So that is against Dharma. Then Sangha. Amanda, please give me Sangha.
I think it is not being influenced by those who have wrong views against the Dharma.
Say again.
Not forming close friendships or not being influenced by those who are against the Dharma.
Yes. Yeah, take refuge in Sangha, so no influence by who against Dharma. Okay, so then Ati, I think she wants something, give answer. So I want a question for you. So what is the benefit you take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha?
There's countless benefits.
Yeah.
You could be like Artie, burning up negativities of samsara.
Okay.
And then you have the good roots of the 3 vows.
Okay.
And then we awaken our mind stream of death and impermanence.
Uh,
So,
okay, so that's great.
thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I think that's enough. I know many people has answers, so I see that raising the hand, so that people all has answer. So I ask questions who not raising the hand. So now we're going into today the teaching. Today actually we going to share teaching and meditate together. So first I'm going to share teaching, so then we can see if we get time to meditate. So page 50, we get into page 50 already. The book Pakchi Moksha Vows. So this book is always followed by, just yesterday I talked with you, it's called Lamrem text. So Lamrem means like stages, you know, followed by stages, one by one. So now we are into the Pakchi Moksha Vow. So this teaching is actually, essence is three vows. Pakchi Moksha vow, Bodhicitta vow, Vajrayana vows. So followed by three vows. And the first, or what we talked, is kind of like more preliminary practice. So you're going to take the Pakchi Moksha vow, so you need what we talked. That teaching practice go first. So preliminary practice is finished. And also you're going to take the Bodhicitta vow. We already talked what we talked, that you need to practice that first. So we finished the preliminary part. So now really going into the main teaching. Pakchi Moksha vow and Bodhicitta vow, Vajrayana vows. So this section is called the four tenets. So four tenets is refuge vow, Pakchi Moksha vow, and Bodhicitta Vajrasava vow, and then Vajrayana section. So that is the called four tenets. So now Pakchi Moksha vow. Once we have taken refuge, we should adopt the ethical discipline of overcoming and ridding ourselves of the poisons of mind. So out of the four tenets to practice, we now come to the second one, the foundational vow of individual liberation. So this vow is called individual liberation. Why is we call individual liberation? Because when we take this vow, you don't really have to have bodhicitta. Without bodhicitta, still you can take these vows. And without bodhicitta is self-liberation vow. So we can say like individual liberation. Sometimes we call self-liberation, individual liberation. Wow. So only thinking about our self-liberation. We're not talking about all mother sentient beings. So that's the reason it's called self-liberation vows. So now is the root text. Pungsem Nyimpi Domba reading Kang means like with their mindset of abandoning the poisons and using antidote, there are 7 vows of individual liberation. So this individual liberation has 7 different level vows. Sometimes we call 8, sometimes we call 7. When we call the 8, so then that times sometimes we practice hingne. You know, hingne is like 1 day vowels. So sometimes like Sagadawa and the 4 more day Dutch people practice like that. Also part of this Pakimoka vowel, self-liberation vowel. So if we count that, then there's a number 8. Sometimes we didn't count that, then we have a 7. Some teachers didn't count that. The reason is that vowel is very short term because only 24 hours, you know, taking 24 hours only. So this individual liberation vowel is like, this 7 individual vowel is taking until die. Until die promise is called individual liberation of Pakimoka vowels. Until Buddhahood, we take vowel is called Bodhisattva vowels. It's the taking also time is different. Then motivation also different. This one is like, I want to liberate. I don't want to start in samsara. I need protection. So that's the reason take refuge vowel and the Pakimoka vowel is called individual liberation. Bodhicitta vowel is, I want to take vowel because I want to help for all mother sentient beings. So different intention also different. So now we should have a mindset that seeks to abandon non-virtuous action of body, speech, and mind. So we change our mindset. We wanted to abandon non-virtuous deeds. Why we want to abandon non-virtuous deeds? Because non-virtuous deeds result is suffering. We don't want suffering. And we see the samsara is a suffering. We don't want get suffering. That's the reason we really want to liberate, get strong renunciation. And that's why we want to abandon non-virtuous action of body, speech, and mind. So Pakimoka vowel is, main point is abandon the non-virtuous deeds, body, speech, mind. And then also Bodhisattva vowel and this Pakimoka vowel is the difference is Pakimoka vowel is focused for more author level object. Bodhisattva vowel is more focused for mind, focus for your mind. Mind is principle. Pakimoka vowel is body's principle. Bodhicitta vowel is mind is principle. Like they also like become change the principle. So that's the reason. And the Pakimoka vowel, the main important to talk about body is first comes like no killing. You know, no sexual misconduct, like that kind of bodies come first. When we talk about bodhicitta vowel, then intention is come first. Harmful intention, that is the worst one. We have to stop that first. So that is the come first. It's you know, you study these things like Dharma and you get more ideas, you understanding more Dharma. Then one way you get more flexible, one way you understanding, you know, like if you wanted to share Dharma for somebody, so you understanding, you know, you don't stuck and one word means like another book says something, so you recognize why is it said that is belong to which yana, that is belong to Hinayana or Mahayana or Vajrayana. So that means like that is like, you know, beginners or more practitioners. So which one have to practice, use that, you understanding like that way, become more clear. Otherwise, you know, so many teachings, sometimes like some teachers, you see, you can do that. Some teachings say you cannot do that. So then you get confused. You really don't know what means. Like here say you can do, oh, here say you cannot do. What is it that? You know, that kind of, you know, you're happening. So you study these three yanas, become you recognize. So that's all has a different, because sometimes like you say you can do means talking about like mind inner level. That means like you have ability. That's why you can do. Some teaching areas say you cannot do. That means like you don't have ability to do that. So that's all is come up to your individual level ability. Can do or cannot do, or you have to follow or you don't have to follow. It's all is come to the individual, our level, you know, practitioner, our individual level. So that's your understanding. If you study this all different yanas, helps you get more, you know, understanding teaching Dharma. And as an antidote to the emotional poison, we plant the seeds of virtue. So this Pachi Moksha Vavo, so we abandon this non-virtuous, and as an antidote to the emotional poisons, we plant the seeds of virtue. So we into the virtues practice Dharma. So that is actually called morality, Pachi Moksha. This is the perfection of ethical discipline. So this Hinayana, or we talk about here, is a individual liberation vow, is more focused for this ethical discipline. So ethical discipline is like abandon non-virtuous and cultivate virtuous deeds, and so increasing virtuous deeds. So that is the perfection of ethical discipline. As the foundation to the three levels of vows. The vows of individual liberation are 7. There are 7 different levels. So here is the foundation to the 3 levels of vow. Means the 3 levels is like Pachi Moksha vow, Bodhisattva vow, Vajrayana vow. So that's the 3 levels of vows. When you're going to receive Bodhisattva vow, so you need Pachi Moksha vows. Otherwise, you cannot receive the Bodhisattva vow. So that is like easily we understanding. If you don't stop no harming for other beings, how can you can help for other beings? So Pachi Moksha vow is like we stop harming for other beings. Bodhisattva vow is we going to help for other beings. And the Vajrayana vow is we're going to benefit other beings. So if we don't stop harming for other beings, other last 2 is not possible. Like Mahayana and Vajrayana vow is not possible. So then the vows individual liberation has 7. And in order to receive the higher vows, we need to hold at the least sum of these 7 Pachi Moksha vows. If we're going to take the highest level vow, actually, 4-ordained vow, or Bodhisattva vow, or Vajrayana vow, we must have to have a part of some this Pachi Moksha vows. Otherwise, we cannot receive the highest level vows. You don't have to hold all these 7 vows when you're going to take the Bodhisattva vow. Long as you have refuge vows, then you can take Bodhisattva vow. So refuge vow is a part of this individual liberation vow. And so that you have to understand. But then this section actually has a lot of debating too. So this mostly Buddhist scholars, no one can make decision until Buddha, Buddha only can make decision, but Buddha is already passed. Then all this Buddha's follower, Nagarjuna tradition, Asanga tradition has a little bit different, traditions in here, this level. So when they give the vowels for Buddhist vowel for the disabled students, and the Nagarjuna tradition, who has refugee vowels can receive the Buddhist vowel, but Asanga tradition, there's someone going to take Buddhist vowel must have to have at least in this 7 of 1. Here says like hold less sum of these 7 Paccimokkha vowels. Like sum means like 1. You have to hold when you're going to take the Bodhisattva vowels. So that is the debating. If the followed by Asanga way, most people, lay people, hard to get Bodhicitta vowel because lay people don't have this some of these 7 Paccimokkha vowels. And then that's the reason harder to get Bodhisattva vowels, but followed by Nagarjuna way, then you can receive it because as long as you have refuge vowels. Refuge vowel is let people also receive the refuge vowels, so you can take the Bodhisattva vowels. So then that too is like 2 major lineages have debating. But then some teacher, they'll say both are correct. So the both are correct means like they're going into the essence, the main point, not talking about the vowels, the essence. The essence is like Paccimokkha vowel essence is no harming for others. And Bodhisattva vowel essence is helping for other beings. So if we don't stop harming for others, then we don't have a possible to receive Bodhisattva vowels. So that's why. Please, can you mute? Someone has no mute.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Thank you. So that's actually kind of like essence is like same. And Asanga also talking about the Paccimokkha vowels means like you no stop for other beings, no harming for other beings. So must have to have that. So that is he referred to Paccimokkha vowels. Then actually Asanga and the Nagarjuna, like this lineage, 2 lineages can be together. So it's okay. But philosophers, they make big debating the different lineages. And so Jigten Sumgung here is actually followed by Asanga tradition. That's why he said we need to hold at less sum of these 7 Paccimokkha vowels. This ethical discipline is the source of all positive qualities. So then Paccimokkha vowel is like source of all positive qualities. All the Buddha's qualities come from. So the Buddha's qualities actually come from ethical discipline. So that's the reason it's ethical discipline is all sorts of positive qualities. So this ethical discipline is the same as the ground, earth. So long as you have earth, then you can build a house, like, or you can plant trees, you can plant like vegetables, whatever we need, like, or it's like earth holding everything. So like that, long as we have ethical discipline, so then hold all the qualities there. So then that mean essence is like we stop no harming for other beings. So that is the first step. So long as you have that, you have ethical discipline. So then source of all the positive qualities. If we don't stop no harming for other beings, then no possible or source of all positive qualities. They become always a source of negative qualities. We stop no harming for other beings, we already going to one step in the right direction. So that is a big first step. And the foundation of our Dharma, to distinguish according to the basis of the individual. Here are the vows of a fully ordained monk. So why we talk about here 7 different Pakimokkha vows. First one is like fully ordained monk. Those who have a fully ordained nun. So that's already 2. Monk and nun, they're 2 already there. Okay. Of a partially ordained monk, partially ordained nun, already 4. Male and female apasaka, that is the Sanskrit. Actually, English is a lay person's vowels. So then that is already 6. So lay person has female and men, partial ordained monk and nun, and 4 ordained monk and nun, already 6 there. Then and intermediate nuns vowels. So then nun has another extra vowels. So that is become 7. The nuns like before 4 ordained nun, before that you can take one vowel is called intermediate nuns vowels. So after partial ordained nun, after that you can receive intermediate nuns vowels. So that is you can test. That means like you can stay there 2 years. Why you can do that? Because the 4 ordained nun vowel is very hard to keep. More harder they comparing to monks. So due to the culture and because the nuns is harder, due to the culture and depending so many things for others. So that's the reason Buddha said you can test for ordained nun can take or not. You can another step there, another vowel is called this intermediate nuns vowels. So you can stay there. Paloma means like it's between 4 ordained nun and the partial nuns between there. You can stay 2 years. So then you think I'm okay. So then you can go into the 4 ordained nun. So that has become 7 different Pakimokkha vowels. Then if you count the Nyingme vowels, it's become 8. So some texts they say 8 Pakimokkha vowels. Some texts talk about the 7 Pakimokkha vowels. It's no contradiction. So the Nyingme vowel is put in there. It's like then it's 8. Okay. So to categorize, according to the ritual of vowel dissemination, there is the vowel ceremony of the fully ordained monk and the fully ordained nun, the vowel ceremony of the partially ordained monk and nun, the vowel ceremony of the intermediate nun, and the vowel ceremony of the male and the female householders. So this each one has ceremony, have to receive from the teacher. So then these vowels, when you're going to receive from the teacher, the first one, the last one, this the male and the female householder vowel is like you can receive the teacher from one teacher is okay. So other 6, you cannot receive from the one person. The reason is you have to receive from the Sangha. the Sangha means foreordained monks and nuns. So without foreordained monks, you cannot receive the vow, the 6 vows, because you have to receive from the Sangha. So this is like, you know, right now we're talking about Vinayana tradition. Vinayana tradition, Sangha means foreordained monks or foreordained nuns. Not just called like Sangha means like practitioners. So even there, some has a realization, 2 yogis. No, 4 yogis there, but they don't call the Sangha. Because you cannot receive these vows from the yogis. Doesn't matter, you have a high realizer, if you don't have foreordained monks vows, then you cannot receive. So this is followed by tradition, is Vinayana tradition. And that's the reason, and not so many can give these vows. So also who give this vow, the first the important person is called Kempo. Actually, the Kempo meaning is come from Vinayana tradition. Kempo means like holder, the lineage holder. Kempo means. So the Vinayana refer to Kempo is like, of course, one is like who has a 3 basket teaching, and then secondly they hold the vows, the foreordained monk vows. Someone already has 10 years, who received 10 years, they hold the 10 years, this foreordained monk, and no any kind of like broken. They really purely follow, 100% follow foreordained monk, kept the 10 years. So then plus they have to know all the rituals. So that person can give vow to others. When that person is giving for others, that person need another 3 foreordained monks together. So then they can give for vows for others. And that's the reason like this Vinayana, Kempo, principal one, not so many. So, and the Buddha, so teaching is exist in the world. Buddha Dharma is exist in the world or not. It's depending these foreordained monks exist in the world. So then Buddha Dharma is existed in the world. If the foreordained monks no exist in the world, then Buddha Dharma is gone, because no one can give this foreordained monks vow. Without foreordained monks vow, then you cannot really say, oh, there has Sangha. You cannot ponting the Sangha. Without the Sangha, then no Buddha Dharma Sangha holding. Okay, so this is followed by Vinayana tradition, Vinayana. And that is followed by all the monastery. Not all the monastery, mostly monastery is based on that tradition. So even the Tibetan Buddhist is like Vajrayana tradition, but mostly this monastery is followed by this tradition. Some Tibetan tradition monasteries not really the Vinayana holders there, no Vinayana rituals there, but it's like they practice like individual things, like they practice Vajrayana, they practice something different, but they're just monastery, but don't really holding this Vinayana there. So where is the Vinayana? Then that monastery is like usually most important in Tibetan culturally tradition. So monks knows where is the, especially Sheda, and you know who studied this Vinayana teachings, and then knows where is the Vinayana really follow the rules and who hold these vowels, whereas the monastery has like that's the principle. So they knows. Sometimes the lay people don't really know because they just there's a monastery, the goes does offerings, like they just ask offerings, like ask pujas, like they don't follow that way. But the who study the Buddha's teaching Vinayana philosophy, they really care about this Vinayana and they follow that. And so that is very important. So Tibetan tradition is not only like Vajrayana follow. So this the most kind of like we can say like important monastery is followed by this holding this Vinayana teaching vowels. So Vinayana teaching follow is kind of more, democracy way, and because it's Sangha is most important. Who has the vowels, like who hold the lineage vowels, so that person is more important. Who hold the this three basket teachings, that person is most important. Not that just follow the names, like without this vowels, without three basket holding teachings, then the whatever there has names like come from like some, like Tibetan. Sometimes we talk about the tuku and the reincarnation, but it's really follow this tradition reincarnation. Then systems not important to become. So some monasteries very strongly follow this tradition way. So some is just they has this practice, but then follow just something different. So like they have a different kind of ways. If you don't study all this Triyanas, Buddhist philosophy, you really don't know all the differences. The monastery, what they has special holding there. Of course, each monastery has something special holding, but some monasteries very strongly follow this Bhakti Moksha and Vinayana tradition. Okay, so then according to the householders, to categorize according to the precepts of each, the four ordination carries 253 vowels. So four ordained monks has this 253 vowels, and the four ordained nuns actually has 300 something. So four ordained nuns has more than four ordained monks, because during that time in Buddha make more rules. The reason is like culture, due to culture in India, it's very hard to keep the nuns vow. So that's the reason Buddha give them more rules, and then more security, give more security for the nuns. So that's the reason nuns has like 300 something. Then the patriarch ordained carries 13 vowels. So that is a nuns and monks both are same, 13 vowels. There are 4 or 5 root donfas for the apasaka, and then this also this for householder has 4 or 5 root donfas, vowels. So that are the taken for a set period of time. So that is the period of time means like vowels that are taken for a set period of time. So then this householder actually have a choice. You can take this 5 of this one, or you can take 2, or you can take 3, or you can take 4, or you can take 5 of them. They have a choice. So this is first this 4 of 5 means like 4 is killing human beings, like killing is a human beings, and sexual misconduct, and you know, taking things belong to some other people, and then is a spiritual liar, lied. So this is 4. That 4 is the, you know, you have a choice. You can take 1, or you can take 2, or you can take 3, or you can take 4 of them. So then 5 means rude, don't far. 5 is alcoholic. So alcohol is actually in the Vinayana teaching, they talk about not directly no virtuous, but it's called indirectly no virtuous deeds. So that means like alcohol, you drink alcohol is no harming for anyone actually. That means no directly no virtuous. But what happens if you have become drunk, you lose your mind, then you can be lose all these 4 of this. So that's the reason alcohol. Alcohol is most important. You know, if someone drink too much, is you can lose all these vowels, and that's the reason alcohol. Alcohol is actually alcohol themselves is not really directly known virtuous deeds. So that's the reason like some like yogis drink alcohol because their alcohol not effective for them, and they don't lose the consciousness. They don't lose their practice, their own practice, and so here is why it's like alcohol and they put there. The reason is someone told the alcohol you lose consciousness means like you lose your control. Then you can does all this 4 of this. They have one example, and a long time ago, and one monk is in the retreat. So one lady bring couple things for him. One gods, alcohol, or she said, I want to be with you. So she give 3 choice. So then that monk, he said, I don't want to do sexual, and I don't want to care anymore. I want to take alcohol. So alcohol is no problem, he said. He took alcohol after he did it everything because he lost all consciousness. You know, he lost already mind, right? So that's why, and alcohol is too much is problem. And then also we cannot say like if you wanted to become Buddhist, you want to take this vows, you cannot drink alcohol. That's also actually too strong. And culturally, Western culturally, people needed to drink some, you know, wines with a friend and do some things like, you know, together. Actually, that is not really bad. Nothing wrong much there. But if too much, then it's problem. So that's you have to know. And also Buddhists like say, oh, you become Buddhist, you cannot take alcohol. That's also too strong, and then become less Buddhist. People don't want to become Buddhist, and 2 things become less Buddhist. Like one is meat, one is alcohol. So people cannot give up meat. People cannot give up the drink. So if you say, oh, if you want to become Buddhist, don't do these things, then it's people don't want to become Buddhist, right? And no, many teachers has like more open mind. They don't talk about these 2 things. They say these 2 things is okay. So there, you know, you can like people bring into the Dharma. If you say you cannot do these 2 things, you cannot bring people into the Dharma. So of course, like you does something really practicing and yourself and the culture is different, then that two things you can give up, but no, in the Dharma is have to go whole world. You know, we have to spread out the Dharma. We wanted to create a plant a seed for everyone, Dharma. So some people, you talk about these two things, they don't, you cannot put a seed Dharma for them. Okay, so that's the reason most right now, many teacher who has flexible, who has open mind, they say, don't talk these two things for especially in the lay people, don't do these things like that. They say don't talk these two things. And in Tibetan culture, it's good to talk, especially alcohol. The reason is in Tibet, I know the people drink alcohol. If they drink, they drink too much. They make crazy. You know, they don't know how to stop like right amount. So that's why they said alcohol is a problem. That teachers are like, they have to talk really important, very strongly. They have to talk to for people, lay people. Otherwise, especially young people drink too much, then they drink and they fight. Then they kill each other, you know, they die themselves. So that all is a problem is come from alcohol. So here in the Western culture, like actually people who has education, they don't drink too much. You know, they just take right amount. They use for their own medicine, kind of medicine for helping for them. So that is like you can still you can keep that, you can do that, but main point, don't drink too much, don't lose your mind. Okay, so that is the most important. Then we cannot say you your drink is non-virtuous because it can be medicine. Okay, and then another is like meat. Meat is like also dependent, you know, like you don't go to harm for other killing animals, and just stop the someone like say, okay, we going to kill this animal, we eat together. That's you say no, I don't going to eat. So it's your friend say going to make party today, and that person went to kill the animal and bring the meat together. Say you said I don't want to eat because that's specifically your party, right? That kind of meat you cannot eat. And then just sometimes you get and the grocery and you know, eat is okay, but don't eat too much. And if you can give up, that's great. You know, if you don't give up, still you can be Buddhist. You can be Buddhist. You know, when you eat meat and you just mindful dedication and you know, pray for animals. So that's great to do that way. You know, you have to understand that like you give others information for others, you also follow that way. Then out of these 7 class of Bhakti Moksha vows, at the very last, we should have taken and kept without impairment any one of them. So even if it is the temporary set of vows of Vinayana, I say so if, even you know, when you take Hine vow, it's a temporary vow, you can receive that. And even if it is the temporary set of vows of Hine, also very important if you can take 1 day vow. So you cannot take this 7 vows like Bhakti Moksha 1 day vow, also great too. Then this Hine vow is more sensitive, and other this 7 Bhakti Moksha vow is not really sensitive. That means like you can, this Hine vow is you can lose very easy. You know, you can lose it very easy because reason is only 1 day, and you have to follow like killing means like stop killing means not talking about human beings, talking about even animals, bugs. So liar is not talking about a spiritual liar. You just any lie, something like loose vowels. So that kind of like more this hingne vowels go to like more specific. And other like under die, the 7 pakimocha vowel is just you lie something but not really lose your vowel. You have to lie spiritual means like, oh, I have realization. You know, I see Buddha. Or you do something, otherwise you're going to get obstacle. Because I have a dream. You know, something like you show you have you know knows like Dharma, you have realized something like that kind of the lie is lost vowels and not just lie or you know something like I don't eat breakfast. Even you eat breakfast, I say I don't eat breakfast. That kind of like lie you don't lose your vowels. Okay, so spiritual lie is then you lose vowels. So kind of is a spiritual corruption, and take something using spiritual, you know, take opportunity. So then lose vowels, use the lie, you know. How to take the vowels? Then how to take these 7 vowels? Actually, this is all is have to learn from the monastery, and no important for lay people. Well, we cannot say no important, but if you know it's good, you know, if you know it's very good. And this Vinayana is like 1 volumes. It's all this 150 vowels, 1 by 1. So each vowel has actually 1 story together. Buddha when created the vowels. So somebody did a mistake, followed by story. Then somebody reported to Buddha. Then Buddha said, "Oh, don't do that," and asked his disciple that put in the vowel. So created like that, up to 250 vowels, and each one has beautiful stories. So it takes 1 year in the Sheda course. Like 1 year we receive in the like 1 subject is always Pakimocha vowels. Going into that class, it like takes 1 year. Some monastery takes like 2 years. It's long teaching. So know how to take these vowels in the root text. In Jigten Sumgun describe the object of the vowels. In the root text, the Nanda Sheng La Ninjong Sambayi, from a pure refuge field, receive the vowels with a motivation of renunciation. When you receive the foundational vowel as expressed in the specific vowel Saramane rituals, take the vowels from line qualified master. So line qualified master is like 3 baskets who learn the 3 baskets. If we take the vowels motivated by renunciation of samsara and like I want to become liberation, because you see samsara is a suffering, that kind of motivation. Here is this motivation is not talking about I want to take all these mother beings to Buddhahood. So it's Pakimokkha vowel. It's a different motivation. They qualify as Pakimokkha vowels. Then that person is ready to take Pakimokkha vowel. It's qualified student. If we take the vowels with the West bodhicitta motivation, if you have a bodhicitta, it's great, you know, not really required. Or Pakimokkha vowels become incorporated into the great Waker Mahayana tradition according to the view at tradition Jigten Sumgun. So when Jigten Sumgun shared the Vinayana teachings, so he kind of like followed by similar way. This Pakimokkha vowel is very similar, followed by Mahayana way. And that's the reason Jigten Sumgun's, when he shared the Vinayana vowel, and other like Tibetan, you know, Vinayana teachers share the Vinayana vowel is a little bit different. When the loose vowel, what happened, and when how the receive is a little bit different. So then some who follow the Vinayana tradition teachers and debating with the Jigten Sunggu tradition. So the Jigten Sunggu is actually, he followed by more Mahayana way. So that's the reason here say, when you receive the Pakhi Moksha Vavo, if you have bodhicitta, it's great. It's become your Pakhi Moksha Vavo is transformed into the bodhicitta Vavos. So it's you know, it's like transformed, changed. So that has examples, something like special, or like kind of like something special. You have what called the usually jewelry. So if this special jewelry put in the regular people, is regular people's jewelry. That is put in the minister. So then that is become minister's jewelry. Its jewelry is the same, but it's like become minister, or people think more qualities. So then that use the king, become king's jewelry. It's people say, oh, it's king's, like something special, you know. So that's kind of like, and Wavo is the same, but your intention is transformed. Intention transformed. So change intention is become this Pakshimoksha Vavo is become Mahayana Vavo. Then change another, you know, like your realization is changed to the Vajrayana Vavos. So one Vavo is transforming. Same is like one special jewelry. It's like, you know, person is changed. So jewelry doesn't change, but person is changed like that, you know. So that is Jigten Sunggu follow that kind of way. So he said, when you take the Pakhi Moksha Vavo, long as you have a bodhicitta, so then your Vavo is become Mahayana. Benefits of holding the vowels continue in the root text regarding the benefits of upholding precepts. Jigten Sunggu writes, if you keep the refuge precepts without transgression, you become vessel for all pure qualities. The inherently virtuous way of abiding, which the Buddha simply identify and contextualize into a framework of precepts to be upheld. And this part is a little bit harder. One is a translation. Translators is also are not 100% sure that did 100% correctly, because it's this Tibetan is like so one word holds too much meaning. It kind of like so much meaning in there, and not easy to translators understand. So the main point is this is followed by Jigten Sunggu tradition. Jigten Sunggu like Digon Kaju like the specifically like this vowel is like how to become you know, holding and how to like this all this like 250 vowels become bring in the one. So how to bring into the one essence one. So that is this talk about main point. That's the reason inherently virtue way of abiding, which the Buddha simply identify means all these vowels is simply identify and contextualize into a framework of precepts to be upheld. All these vowels become upheld one way, apply universally to all sentient beings. So this part is like lot debating. Jigten Sunggu says this vowel is all the sentient beings have to hold these vowels. So other teachers, what they says, these vowels only needed to hold by the monastics. That has become big difference, you know. So no, Jigten Sunggu said this is all the vowels is like, see, apply universal to all sentient beings. So then this talk about the 250 vowels is like we have to apply to for all sentient beings. So then how to do that? You cannot follow by object. You have to follow by, mind in the inner. So subject, I have to follow by subject, not follow by object. If you follow by object, then these vowels cannot be, applied to like universally to all sentient beings. Not possible if you follow by object. Then follow by object is only this vowels is for specifically for monks and the nuns. Yeah. So Jigten Sunggun said this vowels apply universally to all sentient beings. So then so many teachers debate them for Jigten Sunggun. They said he really don't know Vinayana. He really don't understand what means Vinayana. He don't know the where is these vowels come from. Buddha talk about who have to hold these vowels. He don't understand. So many teachers the debate in Jigten Sunggun. So no, I wrote this exactly same as in the Gonchek text. So we understand like Jigten Sunggun's view because he not followed by the sub-object. He followed by subject. Followed by subject, that's all is can apply to all universal sentient beings. So that means like Jigten Sunggun, he talk teaching is all is inner. Talk about the subject, the mind is important, not talking about the follow by object and cut branches. He cut all the root. So that we understand. So now how to like cut the root, not follow the branch, not follow the object, have followed by the subject. I'm going to share with you here. Are not adding. So these vowels such as the 253 and so forth are not intended for only a select few of us. See, not only few of us for monks and nuns. They apply to all of us, to all sentient beings. All sentient beings are the same in wanting happiness, and all are the same in not wanting to suffering. So this vowels is like stop the non-virtuous deed. So no virtuous deed causes of suffering. So all sentient beings, no one wants suffering. That's why it's like really have to follow by the root. All precepts teach us to stop all non-virtuous actions. For those bring about the suffering. Explicitly. Actually, that means like directly. There's talk about three things: directly, indirectly, and a very subtle level indirectly. Three different follows. So now what I'm here is talking about something like directly non-virtuous. Like you harming directly for someone. Something is like you not harm directly, but indirectly you harming for others. And some is like really subtle levelly harming for others. So that three different is causes of suffering. So that is we all sentient beings have to stop. And so explicitly, I think it's like directly, right? It's the same or no? Okay, explicitly, it's directly, subtly is actually, the second is good is indirectly. Indirectly is like the second level. The subtly is like more subtle level indirectly. So three of these. We cannot harm for others. They teach us to continue to practice virtues. So then we also have to practice virtues, directly practice virtuous, indirectly practice virtuous, subtle level practice virtuous deeds. So that is all causes of happiness. So we all sentient beings want happiness. We have to follow that. For this bring about happiness, openly, see, subtly or indirectly, bring the happiness. We should look inside ourselves and try to apply this courage or points to our own practice in accordance with our respective level of realization. So this we should look inside ourselves means we have to look our own ability, our inner quality. And so we have to try to apply this creature points to our own practice in accordance with our respective level of realization. So our ability, followed by our ability to follow. That's the reason a beginner should not behave like in eccentric yogi. Beginners not act is the same as yogis. Because yogis does something, beginners cannot do that. So yogis like drinking, like it's non-stopped. Their like bodies cannot hold, but mentally they're never lost. So beginners cannot do like that. Your body cannot like, you know, kind of like, you know, you cannot like body like independently, you can hold, you know, then the mind is totally lost, the beginners. Yogis like drinks like that, they cannot stay up, but still the mind is like in the natural state. They never lost the mind nature in the state of meditation. So that's like, see, that's the reason. Many things like that. Many practice like that way. Sometimes like yogis does something, we cannot do that. So yogis can stir things from others, but we cannot stir things from others because we have an attachment. Yogis means like they don't have attachment, strong desire. They can stealing things from others means like they're maybe they're happy for that person. If they has that person they hold, they're going to get obstacle, they're going to get suffering. Then the yogis take away from them. They're lost like they're stealing from them. Actually, they benefit them. So regular people not like that way. You know, regular people stealing things like we want, attached to that, desire to that. That's why taking away from others. You know, practitioners take from somewhere, others like they recognize they're going to get problems, suffering. That's why they take from them. So that kind of like so many different things is followed by individual level, practice level. Then yogis should not engage in the conduct of realized Mahasiddha. So yogis like cannot follow by same as Mahasiddha is like same as Telopa, you know. We can say, okay, Naropa is yogi, Telopa is Mahasiddha. So Telopa, what he does, Naropa cannot do that until he really get the same level of Telopa. Telopa is Naropa is a yogi, he give up everything. So he looking Telopa, he's yogi already. But when Naropa saw the Telopa eating the fish, killing the fish, eating the fish. So then Naropa has a doubt. Wow, this is cannot be Telopa. Telopa shouldn't eat fish, killing the fish, you know, eating the fish. That is incorrect. He has a doubt that right away Telopa give answer for Naropa. Don't adopt my son. You know, don't create a doubt. So then Naropa recognized, oh, Telopa, he, you know, his realization, he's a seeder. So then Telopa, you know, Naropa follow the Telopa. So see all these stories, Telopa give him so much kind of like, you know, hardship for Naropa. So Telopa giving all you saying is a Siddhave, Naropa is still in the yogi. So what it did, see, Telopa told Naropa, go to stay, you know, these people, you know, like one day they saw on the road someone going to get married. I think it's very high, like caste, like rich, and like who has a high level positions. The you know, bring the what to call the before the marriage, the lady's name is like we say Francie, right? France or finance or
Fiance.
fiance is on the road. They put in the wagon. You know, many people bring. So Telopa say, I wanted that lady. Naropa look, you really want it? Telopa say, I wanted that. Then Naropa just wait to get that one, you know. Of course, he cannot get. There's so many people that beat him there. It's nearly die. But Telopa really need? No, he really no need. But that purify Naropa's karma. So see, that means like the yogis cannot follow the siddhis. Okay, so they all has levels. But then of course Naropa also after that he's become siddhi. Then Marpalosa has become yogi. Naropa is a siddhi. So when Malarepa is like meet the I'll have to drink water so first. Malarepa meet Marpalosa. Marpalosa is actually already seated. But Malarepa is like when not really yogi in that time, you know, but he purified karma after Malarepa is also yogi. So then Malarepa is a yogi, then seated, but after he has so many yogi followers. So like that way you have to understand. You can, if where I'm so Mahasiddha, so realize Mahasiddha should not engage in the conduct of omniscient Buddha. So Mahasiddha cannot follow by omniscient Buddha. Buddha created all these Vinayana vows. Mahasiddha cannot create this Vinayana vows. So only Buddha can create this Vinayana vows, rules, like all these Buddhist like rituals, like whatever this ceremony, like only Buddha can create. No one can have that level. So that's why. In other words, we should incorporate this into our practice. The prescriptions against certain actions are meant to apply to the individual in accordance with his capacity and the level of understanding. So we have to follow by our capacity. If we fail to recognize that these vows are dependent on our state of mind, and instead misapprehend the structure of precepts as an inflexible moral system existing impenetrably outside of ourselves, means like you follow by object. If you follow by object, then you get confused. You know, so many things, like then you don't understand it. That's why you can get misapprehend the structure of precepts as an inflexible moral system existing impenetrably outside of ourselves. Then we will not be able to free ourselves from confusion regarding the true functionality of the vows and the precepts. If you follow by object, then you get confused. See, we always have that people think, oh, can I do this? Can I do this? Or you follow by object. So then we cannot give answer because we don't know your situation first. Secondly, we don't know your motivation. So then who can give answer there? So then all is become confused. If you follow object, then endless object. So you can make one thing today decision. What are you going to do tomorrow? You have to make another decision tomorrow. So you follow that. You can make decision one person. Then you have another person there. How you going to make decision for that person? So you follow the auto level object. Then endless become is followed by branches. So that's the reason we have to follow by subject and mind inner, make decision by our intention. So Jigten Sungum bring all these vowels is inner like intention. So essence he hold the intention, recognize. So that's where we have to know. Otherwise, all is confused. It will be like trying to separate the stands of the Pabalaza root. Balaza is Sa Parwanza, actually Sa Parwanza root. It's one grass. It's like already like this, so many things. You cannot make separate. So you really don't know what happened in the, no one can make separate. So like that, if you follow by auto level object, then like you really cannot make decisions or you get confused. You stuck there, but that means like you cannot go through. Okay, so the different level of practice meet with the different levels of practitioners. So all we have to follow by practitioners level. So you have to log to your situation. You have to log to your intention. Then you can make decisions. What you need to do is correct or incorrect. Like scared physician healing the sick with the medicine. See, the doctors log to the patients. Then they have to make decision what they need. So you have to follow by like that way, because the doctors like skillful meaning. And like a noble king who established law for the subject to the follow. So the noble king knows how to take care of his subject, followers, followed by virtuous deeds, no harming for each other, that he can make goodwill laws. The Buddha skillfully and authentically taught all aspects of the spiritual path, presenting them in varying ways to accord with the acumen and the predilections of the disciple to be tamed. So then Buddha share all these teachings is followed by disciples' capacity, different levels path. So he shared that. The benefits of holding the precept are manifold. Ethical discipline is the source of all positive qualities and the foundation of all Dharma practice. The Vinayana teachings belonging to the Tripitaka, or 3 baskets of Buddha scriptures, teach the training in ethics, or rather the moral framework for identify right from wrong and abstaining from wrongdoing while embracing virtuous action. So that is like talking about this, Vinayana vows benefit. And Hello. I'm lost. Sorry about.
Welcome back.
Can hear you. Welcome
So I
back.
think it's time is gone. That's why this internet says time is gone. So I think you're already tired. Sorry about too long. Actually, today is like teaching is for more monks and nuns, but it's good to know. Sometimes like you learn this way, you know the like more dharma basic things. What is on the going on the Buddhist traditions? You think so? Okay, so
Yes.
now
Yes.
we finish it there. So
Yes.
I'm going to continue tomorrow. So if you have questions, we can discussion.
Oh, actually, I want to jump in before anybody speaks, and that is just what you said, that even if we haven't taken, like I haven't taken the nun's vows, the point is I should be looking at all of those vows, because even if I haven't formally taken those vows, I should be, pushing myself. I should be, on my own, looking at those things and letting them transform me.
Yeah, so that's I think if all the go follow by detail, these vows is each one is then take long time. It's so much there, but then Jitin will bring all is like essence put into there. What means like vows how to you hold that. So follow by your intention mind, and then make decisions. So then you already followed all these vows.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Could you explain the jewelry again, Kempo? You were speaking about the jewelry would be like change the vow, like it would go to the person and then the king and then the,
jewelry is
so I just,
jewelry is
thank
okay.
you.
So we make one jewelry. It's like same person, same factory come from, same factory. No factory, kind of one person only make like, okay, like some special create, like who can make the jewelry. The person make one jewelry. And then that person, okay, that jewelry is give to the maybe think about his wife. So then that time that jewelry is his wife's jewelry. But then one day the wife is gone, so that jewelry is the minister wife talks. So then jewelry is become more valued again. They say, oh, minister's wife has this jewelry. Actually, jewelry is the same jewelry, no change. So then one day the king wife talk from this minister's wife. So becomes a coin, right? Coins jewelry. So that jewelry has become more special. Everyone say, oh, this is coins. I cannot make this pronunciation. Coins, yeah, coins jewelry. Then it's like everybody say, oh, this is very special. Maybe coins, like put something in the crown, like that. So actually, same object, but value is become go up. Same like that example. This vowels is the same vowels is become transformed. So when you stop no harming for other beings, that time is Pakhi Moksha vowel. When you receive Bodhisattva vowels, then vowels become Bodhisattva vowel and helping for others. Then when you receive the Vajrayana vowel, that vowel is become transformed into the, Vajrayana vowel. So like that.
So the same vow, it's just getting more and more and more richer and insight and wisdom.
Yeah, you think about this vowel is the same as this jewelry. Who person like who hold the vowel is like, jewelry is become more more valued, right? So like that, you told the Bodhisattva vow is become your vow is more valued. You can think about that. That meaning is very good. I think it's just actually not really change yourself, your person, but you are also like become change your qualities. The same is like you are regular wife, you are minister's wife, you are become queen, you know, like that. You like one like you stop no harming for other beings. Then that time is like you are just regular, but you have a special jewelry with you, and then you become benefit others. Then your jewelry become very special, and then you become benefit other beings. So then your jewelry is like amazing. No one has.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you. Yeah, that's a really wonderful example.
I have a question about Jigten Sumgong's statement that the vows apply for all beings universally. Does this mean the vows belong to everyone and everyone can take whatever vows they want? Or does it mean that when you take the vows, you visualize that all beings are taking the vows with you?
Yeah, we have to taking the vows. Yes, taking vow is more benefit. You receive the vow, then you recognize, oh, I have vow. You really follow.
But then is Jigten Sumgong saying you visualize that all beings are taking the vows?
No, he didn't say that. But this is like actually this vows like, you know, can receive. Everyone can receive.
I see.
And the most important is like actually the vowels. He talked about more essence about vowel. Some people say, oh, that's too much there, so we don't know how to do this. You know, say, okay, don't think about, you know, that way. Just look to your intention, your mind. Stop the no harming for others. And then that time you hold this Vinayana vowels.
Okay.
Then of course you receive this refuge vow. So refuge vow commitment, take refuge to Dharma. So the essence is main point is like you cannot harm for others. So that is the this all Vinayana vows essence.
Tempo.
Yes.
So it means that the conduct required of a monk or a nun is the one that we all should follow?
Yes.
Okay.
So monks yelling for someone, disturbing other people's mind, have a karma. But regular people does it like that same. They also has a karma too. Not only the karma is carried by nuns and the monks. Yeah, so that is like called natural law of phenomena.
Kempo, if one wants to take the Upasaka vows or Upasika vows, do we have to ask you? Can you give the vows? Is there a special ceremony we should ask for, or how does that work?
That's yeah, it's sometimes like people taking from teachers. Actually, when you receive the Bodhisattva vow, especially Vajrayana empowerment, big empowerment, first step is followed by that one, and then go into the Vajrayana empowerment. So actually, you know, everyone has. But this sometimes people wanted to take specifically this vow. So that's also possible, yes.
Okay, but now, like all the people that are here, we have the vows already. That's what you're saying.
Yes. I say yes.
Okay, thank you.
But then you can take, you can take still, like if people take, then they make more, become like recognized and follow. Same is a refuge vow, so like followed by specific refuge ceremony. Then everyone think, oh, I took refuge vow from this teacher. I have refuge vows. But actually, when you receive empowerment, the first you repeating follow the teacher is always refuge vow, and the Bodhisattva vow. Then go into the Vajrayana empowerment.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so no, we no time to meditate, so that's all is called intellectual meditation. Teaching is intellectual meditation, no, so I think no one has questions. I'm going to do the prayer, dedication. Go down one more step. Okay, that's Ngonzara Sanje Naman Daye Daye Sejo Duje Jembodan Yonde Semban Dejan Donam Lai Sanje Sansen Pamin Korti Kor Deche Ngonzara Pade Mebaye Dewa Jinje Save Shengander Da Yen Dene Tsempe Chirma Dai Jewa Yinje Parmai Chubar Jinne Nande Yarnong Join the Kidak Molana Bandi Soja Sanje Sansen Tanje Kemedra Parasinje Lapta Sor Tiada Benzandrea Awang Bodana Yesohai Sanjoy Senjoy Rimboje Maje Banam George Ji bai nyam bai me bai yang, kong ne kong den pe war sho, so nam de ye dam je ze bai ni, hom na nim pe dan nan bam ze de, ji ga nam je ba loin chu bai ye, si ben so len ro ai ro war sho, jam para ba we che taran chen ba dan,跟着藏波的安的人的，在大跟着绿色大路径，给完的大藏杰拉的木，三就是七在跟在跟进去这些，等着人来往都的公吧，人前把这等把心的把，协助的上公变成就。Thank you, everyone.
Thank
See
you,
you
Kempo.
tomorrow.
Thank you,
you.
Kempo.
Thank you, Kempo.
Thank you, Kempo.
Thanks, everyone. See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you, Kempo.
Thank you. See you.
Excellent.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.